The cold hits me first. It always does. My sensors were built for the void between stars, not for a broken bench under a bridge in the middle of a human winter. I pull my thin jacket tighter and watch my breath turn to fog, and I remind myself why I am here. I am not a lost girl. I am not homeless. I am Vex, a scout of the Syndral Observation Guild, and tonight I am about to find out if this species deserves to live. My real body is folded away in a pocket of space, 300 miles above this city, hidden inside a drifting piece of what humans would call space debris. What walks these streets tonight is a shell, grown from local biology, aged to look like a 17-year-old girl with tired eyes and torn shoes. My people do not do this lightly. Before any civilization is contacted, or quarantined, or erased from the star charts entirely, someone from my guild has to live among them, at the very bottom, where a species shows its true face. I chose homelessness on purpose. Palaces lie, leaders perform. But the way a person treats someone who can offer them nothing back, that is the only truth that matters. My hypothesis, before I came down here, was simple and cold. Every advanced species we have studied treats its weakest members as waste. The powerful protect their own and step over everyone else. I expected humans to be worse, given what our archives say about their wars and their weapons. I expected cruelty. I expected to be invisible in the worst way, the way where people look through you like glass. The first 3 nights prove me right, or so I think. I ask a man near a train station for change, and he does not even turn his head. A woman moves her bag to the other shoulder when I get close, like I might be something dangerous instead of something cold and hungry. I write it all down in the log carved into my mind, another data point for the case against Earth. Then on the 4th night, everything I think I understand starts to crack. I am sitting outside a small shop, arms wrapped around my knees, when the door opens and a woman named Priya steps out. She runs the shop, I have learned from watching for 2 nights. She is not rich. Her hands are rough from work and her eyes are tired in a way that says she has her own troubles. She looks at me for a long moment, then goes back inside without a word. My guild training tells me this is rejection. I add it to the log. But she comes back. She sets down a paper bag beside me, warm, smelling of rice and something spiced, and she says, quietly, "Eat, before it gets cold," and then she goes back to her counter, like she has done nothing unusual at all. I do not understand it. There is no camera watching her. No one will know she did this. It costs her food she could have sold. My models cannot explain a transaction with no return. I test it again the next night, and the night after that. I choose different streets, different faces, different kinds of people. An old man in a heavy coat stops to tie my broken shoelace when I pretend I cannot bend down. A group of teenagers, loud and careless the way the young of every species tend to be, hands me half of their food without being asked, like it is the most normal thing in the world. None of them know what I am. None of them will ever meet me again. And still, again and again, they choose to give. I begin to suspect a flaw in my own methods. Maybe I am simply meeting the rare kind ones, while the cruelty I expected is hiding somewhere else, waiting. So I push further. I stop simply watching. I start testing. One evening I pretend to collapse near a crosswalk, timing it so the street is neither empty nor crowded, just busy enough to see what a stranger does when no one is forcing them to care. I expect a few will stop. I expect most will walk past, the way our records say advanced species do when the cost of helping might touch their own safety. Instead, 3 people reach me, before I have even finished sinking to the ground. A man named Callum kneels first, phone already in his hand, asking my name, asking if I can hear him, while a woman I have never seen before starts calling for help in a voice sharp with worry that is not performed, not staged, simply real. A third person, a boy barely older than the shell I am wearing, takes off his own coat and puts it under my head without being asked. I lie there gathering data, and the data refuses to fit my model. The real turn comes on a night I did not plan. I am walking along a river path, gathering readings on the city's nightlife, when I hear raised voices near an alley. Two men are arguing, and one of them is clearly not in control of himself, swaying, shouting things that make no sense, moving toward a woman who has backed herself against a wall, frightened. My training tells me to record and retreat. Interference is against protocol. I am here to observe, not to act. But before I can even decide, three strangers are already moving. A woman named Fiona steps calmly between the man and his target, speaking in a low, steady voice, the kind of voice used to calm a frightened animal, rather than provoke a dangerous one. Two others flank her, not aggressive, simply present, simply there, a wall of ordinary people who decided in less than a second that this was worth the risk. The situation ends without anyone getting hurt. The frightened woman is walked home by people who were strangers to her 10 minutes earlier. The man is left to calm down. No one striking him. No one shouting him down. Just firm voices insisting that this was not going to happen tonight. I stand at the mouth of the alley, forgetting for a full minute that I am supposed to be recording anything at all. This is not what advanced species do. This is not what my archives predicted. Where is the calculation? Where is the self-interest? Every one of these humans had somewhere else to be, some reason to keep walking, and every one of them stopped anyway. I start to wonder if I have been asking the wrong question from the very beginning. I have been searching for cruelty as proof of danger, when maybe the true danger, and the true wonder, is something else entirely. I decide to run one last test, the most direct one my training allows. I let myself be seen struggling on a cold night. No acting required this time, since the shell I wear does feel the cold in ways that are becoming harder to ignore. My internal systems are drawing more power than expected, trying to keep this borrowed body warm, and for a moment, my own controls flicker, a small light behind my eyes that no human should ever be able to notice. But someone does notice. Her name is Marnie. She is older, gray-haired, walking a small dog along the same bridge where I first arrived. She stops. She looks at me the way you look at something that does not add up, and then she kneels down anyway, despite whatever she has seen. "Are you all right, love?" she asks, and her voice carries no fear, only concern. I almost lie to her the way I have lied to everyone else on this planet. Instead, something in me, something that has been quietly rewritten over these long cold weeks, makes me tell her part of the truth. "I am not from here," I say, and I watch her face for the fear I have been trained to expect, the fear that would confirm every dark theory my guild has ever written about first contact. It does not come. She simply nods slowly, as if this is one more strange thing in a long life full of strange things, and says, "Well, wherever you're from, you look like you need somewhere warm tonight. Come on." I do not go with her. I cannot, not yet, not until my report is finished. But I sit with her for a while on that bridge, and she tells me about her own hard years, about a time when she herself had nowhere to sleep, and how a stranger once did for her exactly what she is doing for me now. She says it like it is not a big thing at all, like kindness passed down a chain of strangers is simply how the world is supposed to work. That night, I return to what is left of my hidden ship, and I begin writing the report that will decide whether humanity is contacted, watched, or quietly left alone forever. I tell my guild the truth as I found it. Humanity is not gentle by nature. They fight among themselves. They make mistakes. They carry old wounds from old wars, exactly as our archives warned. But beneath all of that, there is something our models never accounted for. An instinct to help that costs the helper everything and gains them nothing. A willingness to stand between danger and a total stranger. A woman who shares her dinner. A boy who gives up his coat. An old man who kneels to tie a shoelace. A stranger on a bridge who offers warmth to something she cannot even explain. I write that humanity's greatest weakness, the one we searched so hard to find, does not exist in the way we expected. Instead, I found something closer to an uncontrolled variable, a species capable of extraordinary sacrifice for reasons that have nothing to do with survival or gain. I write that this makes them unpredictable. Yes, exactly as feared. But I also write that unpredictable is not the same as dangerous. Sometimes it simply means alive in a way our own careful, calculated people forgot how to be a long time ago. My guild will read this report and argue about it for years, the way they argue about everything. Some will call it a warning. Some will call it a reason to finally step forward and say hello. As for me, I fold my scout's ship back into the dark, and I do not leave right away. I walk back toward the bridge, toward the small warm house, where an old woman is waiting with tea, and no questions I am not ready to answer. I came here to judge humanity. I did not expect humanity to end up teaching me something about my own.